round of applause for Mr. Rob Moore.
Yeah, some music as well. This is I feel very glamorous tonight. Everyone seems to want to change their name tonight. So I'm going to be Brenda. That's it. That's just what we're going to do. Not at work though, only on pleasure. So people often say to me that you always remember your first time, don't they? They always say that. I mean, it makes sense, because if you forgot your first time, then you think your second time was your first time. And all your mates will be like, no, that's your second time. And you'll be like, no, that's definitely my first time. And you believe your own narrative. And then you start thinking, you forget your second time, and you start thinking your third time was your first time. And your friends would show you the picture from the gram and that was of your proper first time. And you'd remember that was your first time and not your third time. And then you'd see your fourth time and your head would just blow. You wouldn't understand. And that's what your average male thinks about on the toilet. That's exactly what we're thinking about. I should introduce myself, by the way. So I'm not Brenda, I am Rob Moore. A couple of things to know about me. Well, I never really wanted to be a stand-up comedian when I was young. I never had that aspiration. I used to lie in bed at night and I'd have visions of connecting people's houses with plastic tubes full of water and gas. But that was just a pipe dream. Get stuck. It is not getting any better than that. So you can buckle up for this bloody ride. Because then I had a dream about being the head of the Catholic Church. But that was just a Pope dream. I'm a doctor of engineering. I spent 4 years writing a book about how to model rubber, which came in handy when we took an unexpected trip to the Viaduct Bar, but I'll let somebody else talk about it. So my lab was in Bradford, on the edge of the red light district, so I would be inside stretching rubber as far as it would go, and outside, pretty much the same thing was happening. I am also a local preacher in the Methodist Church. Oh, not many of us do this. And so I get to stand up every Sunday morning in front of a crowd of strangers, watching as they judge me in stony silence. And now I get to do it during the week as well. We have a secret stash of church jokes that we like to roll out. Yeah, so Moses goes to the barber, he says, "How'd you like your parting?" Oh, and there are many, many more of them, but I think Kerry will kill me if I do too many. But for the very first time in my life, though, I have started to think about what it means, these first times in your life, and what they mean, and why we should remember them. You know, the first time you see the love of your life, the first time you have your favourite meal, first time you go to your favourite place, the first time you drive a car, first time you hotwire a car, first time you do 100 mile an hour in a school zone, first time you crash into a minibus full of orphans on a church day out, the first time you stand in the dock before the judge and he tries to understand whether you're a mature, responsible, sensible member of the community, and he asks you what you do, and he says stand-up comedian, and you realise this is the worst possible character reference. So what do you do? Well, I'm a stand-up comedian. So you're unemployed? No, I'm a stand-up comedian. So you're unemployed with a massive drink problem and huge issues of self-worth. No, I'm a stand-up comedian. Right, so you stand up in front of a room full of strangers and try to get cheap laughs out of them for your own entertainment. No, I'm a stand-up comedian. Oh, right, so, and then you panic. And then you panic and you start doing crowd work on the jury. So what's your name? What do you do for a living? I think I shagged your mum once. It just never goes well from there. But I think these first moments are so important. We should remember them. We should look back. And so many of them are lost to history, and I think that's a real shame. Oh, just before I carry on, hydration break. Any football fans in the audience tonight? Woo! Any Harrogate Town fans in the audience tonight? I'm a Barrow fan, and we have a big rival with them, so I thought I'd check it out. Whether you're a football fan or not, I think you'd agree the hydration break is a great idea. We used to have the tea break, but the hydration break is a tea break with steroids. It's, in some cases, literally. It's a brilliant thing. Every 22 and a half minutes, your boss comes down, right, you've worked really hard for the last 22 and a half minutes, here's an energy drink, and a bit of physio, here's a tactics board. I've got a tactics board here, it says, tell some funny jokes. Oh, bollocks. No, anyway. Right, but anyway, getting back from the commercial break, thinking on the great first in human history. What about the first sausage? What were they thinking? What were they working on when that came out? The middle managers in their little weekly product meeting, and it was in real life meeting in those days. It wasn't a Teams meeting. You can only imagine what Teams meetings were like in medieval times. Yeah, sorry I can't get into the office. There's barbarians on the A1. Absolutely mental, they're rampaging everywhere. And yeah, sorry about the noise, I've got the monks in. They're monographing me some numbers for me wheelie bins. One of them's got his dick in the recycling. He's fucking rubbish, he is. That's me in a fucking shoe on for that one. And there's worse to come as well, there is worse to come. So yeah, the guys are sat around and they're like, oh, you know that bit of the sheet where the mushed up grass goes between it before it turns into shits and farts? And you know what, we haven't figured out what to do with that yet. Well, we've got an idea. You remember how we tried to use it as condoms and that didn't work? Well, give it a few thousand years and we might give another go. But well, if you take it out and wash it off, really important, remember to wash it off, that's super important. Take it out, chop it up, fill it full of herbs and meat and spices. And yeah, I know it looks like a penis, but you put it on the fire, give it 20 minutes, and it tastes amazing. Much better than penis. And all the middle managers are going, yes, we've invented something new. And all the guys who invented bread are like, yes, we've waited 8,000 years for this. Finally we can invent the sausage sandwich. All we need is something red to spread on it. We're motoring here, but the condiments guys, they need to catch up. I'm literally ashamed of myself for making that joke. I apologise to you all. Well, what else is there? I got to thinking. The world's first stand-up comedy night. Caveman stand-up comedy. Imagine the scene. A dozen cavemen sat round the cave, because that's what they do, the clue's in the name. Sat round the cave, and maybe there's a bit of tension in the air. Maybe they're working out who's the alpha male, or whose turn it is to hunt the next mammoth. Or maybe someone's been caught cheating at cards, because cavemen cards are absolutely rubbish. For start off, they can't count, and secondly, they haven't got any spades, only clubs. Oh God. So there's a bit of tension, and all of a sudden one of them, and I believe he was called Ugg, he stands up, like a bolt from the glue, a bolt from the glue. That's a spoonerism for you. A bolt from the blue. He decides he's going to tell a joke. He doesn't know what a joke is yet, because nobody's invented jokes. But he stands up and he points to his friend Ugg, and he says, Ugg got small knob. He hung like squirrel. And the crowd and the rest of the cavemen erupting in cheers and laughter and clapping. They don't realise it, but they've witnessed the dawn of the dick joke. The first in a very, 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 very long line of very similar sounding dick jokes. And it's like an orchestra starts up, bum, 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 bum. It's the scene from 2001: A Space Odyssey, but with more dicks. They're going for it now, they love it, they think this is fantastic. So another one too stands up, he's called Ugg as well, and he stands up and he turns to his friend who's also called Ugg, and he says, my wolf's got no nose, how does he smell? Terrible! And they all laugh because it's hilarious, because there's no such thing as a dad joke. Because this is the first time it's ever been told. And boy, do I wish I was back there with some of my jokes. And then a third caveman stands up, and he's called Winston Montgomery Smith. Because there's always one Homo sapien in any crowd of Neanderthals. That's the way it works. Like, there will be somebody from York in here tonight. There's always one somewhere. And he stands up and he says, knock, knock. What are you on about? We live in a bloody cave, you idiot. We haven't even invented the doors yet. Fuck off, Winston. So here we go. You probably have some caveman equivalent to Kerry stood there waiting to whistle you off stage because you've outlasted your 10 minutes or 2 fingers on a torch, as it was authentically. But look how far we've come. Look how far we've come from a bunch of hairy-ass blokes sitting in a cave somewhere, telling each other dick jokes, to... Well, here we are. We might have a couple of boob jokes tonight, and that'll be good. I've been Rob Moore. You've been lovely. I hope you have a marvellous time.